Okay, so remember this week we're talking about the regions of Texas. Yesterday we went over the coastal plains. So today we're going to be looking at the north central plains of Texas. So while we're going through, just to review our vocabulary, our vegetation is plant life that we see in that region. So any crops that are grown in that region, any specific plants, like if it's grasslands or anything like that, we would see that. Um, Anything like that would be considered the vegetation. Now, when we talk about the economics, we're talking about how the region makes its money. Okay, so specifically, what does that region do to bring in income? Does it have a lot of people that come to the region and that's how it makes money? Does it produce specific crops that they sell? Does it have like a port that it trades goods through? So, how does that region make its money? Okay. And then the climate is talking about the weather patterns. So, what is the weather like? Is it hot? Is it cold? Does it rain a lot in that region? Does it not rain at all in that region? So, that's what we're discussing when we're looking at climate. So, we're going to continue with our PowerPoint from yesterday. And when we are going through that, I will be doing a voiceover over the PowerPoint so that you'll be able to hear um, what what is going on. Something happened with the audio yesterday, but I figured out how to fix it. And so today it'll be a specific voiceover. Once we're done with the PowerPoint, we'll come back and we'll discuss these three things. What's the vegetation like? What are the economics in the region? And then we'll look at the climate. Okay. So let me share my screen. I'm going to turn my video off so that you can focus on the PowerPoint. Okay. So we will continue with the North Central Plains. I hope y'all enjoyed your visit to the coastal plains. Now that everyone is back on the bus, we are off to our next location, the North Central Plains. Welcome to the North Central Plains. Some of the major cities in this region are Fort Worth, San Angelo, Abilene, and Wichita Falls. Since it's still close to the Gulf, it has hot and slightly humid summers with mild winters. Most winters will bring snow to the North Central Plains. In addition to the hot summers, the North Central Plains can also be affected by tornadoes. This region is part of Tornado Alley, an area of the United States that is impacted by tornadoes during summer thunderstorms. Quick check. Turn and talk with someone near you. What have you learned about the cities and the climate? Turn and talk. All right, let's bring it back and then let's continue with our tour. The Central Plains region is mostly rural grasslands and small towns with a few large cities. Most of this prairie land is thick grasses. The rich, fertile soil enables large numbers of people to earn their living from farming a variety of crops, such as peanuts, peaches, oat, and wheat. Cattle ranching is also an important industry in this region. The discovery of oil in the 20th century caused the area's economic growth to skyrocket and diversify. Oil derricks and oil pumps can pop up anywhere in this region. How would you like to have an oil pump in your front yard? Quick check. Turn and talk or think about it. What have you learned about the vegetation, economy, and the natural resources? Okay, let's bring it back and let's continue with our tour. Welcome to Fort Worth, or Cowtown, as it's referred to. Fort Worth, like so many Texas frontier settlements, was originally an army post. Unlike most, it grew into a large city. It is the largest city in the North Central Plains and has become a mercantile, commercial, banking, finance, insurance, manufacturing, and wholesale trade center for most of West Texas. The city is also big in aerospace, airplane, and helicopter manufacturing. Quick check. Either think about it or turn and talk with your partner. What have you learned about the vegetation, the economy, the natural resources, the climate, or the cities? Okay, we're going to end our tour there for today, and we'll continue with our tour tomorrow. So what are some things, one second. Okay, there we go. What did we learn in regards to vegetation? What is some vegetation that we see, Alasia?
Um, we saw I know what it is, but I forgot what it was called.
So I'll give you one of them. The vegetation, hold on, here we go. The vegetation that we saw, one of them was grasslands. So when I say grasslands, what do you think that means?
Land with a lot of grass.
Land with a lot of grass. So it's pretty much nothing on the land. The only thing that's there is grass. Okay. So that's pretty much what the vegetation looks like. As far as some crops, do you remember any of the crops that they would produce in that region? Do you remember any? So one of them, so the crops were peanuts, peaches, oats, and wheat. Okay. So peanuts, peaches, oats, and wheat, those were the four crops that they produce in this region. And I'll post a copy of the notes up as well, just to make sure that you can remember all of those things. Okay, so economics, what were some of the things that they did to make their money in this region?
They sold things,
What did they sell?
the crops,
So they sold crops. What else did they do? Can you see this PowerPoint?
yes,
Okay, so what is that? What did I say that was? Do you remember?
hmm?
What did I say this picture was? So this is called an oil well. What is this?
An oil well,
So if it's an oil well, what am I pulling out of the ground with this?
oil,
Oil. So what do I use oil for?
cars,
Cars. So I have to sell oil. Okay, and then there's one more thing that they did. What does this represent? Can you see this?
no,
Wait, hold on. Now can you see this?
yes,
Okay. What is this?
a bull,
A bull, right? So if I have this bull, I'm going to be using that bull to sell money, to make money off of it. Now I can have cows just to have cows, but people don't have cows just to have them. Most of the time they use them for some type of income. They either sell the actual bull to students that are in FFA, and they, make that, they raise that animal and then eventually they sell it again to send to the meat market, or they send them to the meat market themselves, or they use the cows for the milk. So they use the cattle for something. They don't just, have cattle to have cattle. So it's important that we make sure that we think about those things, because to us it just seems like it's a cow, but to a lot of people that is their way of living. Oh, that is not what I was trying to do. That is not what I was trying to do. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So they sold crops, oil, and cattle ranching. Okay, those are the main economics that they had. Okay, so what's the weather like there? Let's think about it. It's Dallas and Fort Worth. So what's the weather like?
hot,
So it's still hot, but does it snow in Dallas?
sometimes,
Sometimes. So it tends to snow and get really cold in the winter. Okay, so it feels completely different in the winter there than it does here. Here it gets cold, but up in Dallas, it almost always snows. If you go up north, it always snows. Okay, so that's the difference between the north central plains and the coastal plains. It's even though they're really close together, because you think about Dallas isn't that far. Fort Worth is only about 3.5 hours away from here, but just that distance, they get snow almost every year. Okay, so you're still going to be working on your project that you worked on yesterday. However, today the what you choose is going to be based off of the north central region, okay, instead of the coastal plains. So what you did yesterday was based off of the coastal plains. Today, your activity needs to be focused on the north central plains. Okay, are there any questions about that?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna post the notes. I'm also gonna post a copy of this video so that you can go back and look at anything that you need to complete the assignment. Again, if you have any questions, always feel free to send me a text message like you've been doing. You've been really good about that. And then just have a good day. See you later. Bye.